Hello, welcome. Thank you for joining us on this edition of News 2. I'm Sandra Gumansing, topping on Newscast. After last week's health alert over the outbreak of impetigo, residents on St. Croix have expressed concerns about the illness and its rapid spread. The health department is now gathering data to put together a report on the status of the illness. They also responded to concerns about impetigo being transmitted through water lines. News2's April Knight has that story.
The Virgin Islands Department of Health will be releasing a report on the status of impetigo cases on St. Croix. That's according to Health Department spokesperson Astia Lebron. An island-wide public health alert has been activated for St. Croix due to an outbreak of the highly contagious skin infection affecting mostly children. Impetigo mainly affects infants and children and usually appears as red sores on the face, especially around a child's nose and mouth.
Not life-threatening unless you're a very small infant, and usually that's a different type of impetigo. That's more of a bullous lesion. It can be painful or itchy, but it's not normally that painful.
According to the health department, proper hygiene is key to stopping impetigo from spreading. That includes frequent washing and sanitizing of the hands. But Senator Kurt Viallet said his office has received complaints in the Paradise area about contamination in the utility water lines, and they want to know if that's potentially spreading the illness. According to the health department, however, water transmission is not as much of a concern as skin-to-skin transmission when it comes to impetigo. The health department cannot reveal any more information until the report is completed. That's expected as early as next week.
Right now, we are doing it in an outreach to the community and providing a medical countermeasures team response.
Reporting for News 2, I'm April Knight.
For more information or to report a suspected case of impetigo, please contact the Department of Health's Environmental Health Division at 340-718-1311. Senate President Neville James said he is looking forward to high-level briefings in November from the management team of the Virgin Islands Water and Power Authority, who will provide the members of the 31st Legislature key details on their plans of conversion to the use of propane or liquefied petroleum gas, LPG, as the territory's primary fuel for power generation. On April 8, 2015, during a Senate energy hearing, WAPA officials testified that their partnership with global energy supplier Vital includes a steady supply of propane to WAPA's facilities, and that fuel costs will be reduced to an anticipated 30%. Well, yesterday, we reported on the acting Attorney General's move to back the Economic Development Authority in its decision not to release information on entities borrowing from the authority. According to the acting Attorney General, doing that would undermine what the EDA hopes to accomplish, which is help deserving businesses take off. News 2's April Knight has more.
To reveal or not to reveal? That's the question for EDA officials regarding requests to release information on entities that borrowed money from the Economic Development Authority. A local paper insisted that information on who's borrowing from the EDA is public record. But for Acting Attorney General Claude Walker, the answer is a clear no.
I am not going to render some opinion saying that the average person in the Virgin Islands, small businesses that go to EDA for loans, must have their data released publicly.
The Acting Attorney General said it's just like any bank loan, and banks are not expected to reveal the personal and financial information of their clients either. But there is the argument that this is taxpayer money that's being loaned to these businesses. And don't taxpayers have the right to know where their taxes are going?
Not based on the law that we have seen. There's information that EDA can put out concerning the number of loans that they have provided and the amounts. But now you're getting into specific data concerning the specific applicant.
According to Walker, revealing information could have a chilling effect on business owners and defeat the very purpose of the EDA. Many of the EDA borrowers, he said, belong to the small business category.
You cannot tell me that people would like that information to be revealed or create a false choice where we say, if you want the funds from EDA, we have to get all of your financial data and make it public. That's the only how we're going to give you the loan. Well, very few people will take that offer.
The acting AG is sticking to his guns. Entities who want the information can take it up with the courts, he said, and he has no problem enforcing whatever their decision may be. Reporting for News 2, I'm April Knight.
In other news, Senator Jean Ford's minimum wage bill is moving forward. The bill was approved by the Senate Committee of Education and Workforce Development on Wednesday. If approved, the bill would raise the current minimum wage, which is $7.25 per hour, to $10.50 per hour by January 2018. The increase will be done in phases. According to Ford, it is a reasonable and incremental increase and should not prove too hard on employers. The bill would also affect tipped workers, ensuring that they get at least 70% of the hiked wages. The Government Services, Consumer and Veterans Affairs Committee met today at the Fritz Lowet's Legislative Conference Room on St. Croix to receive testimony on a few bills, including Bill number 31-0026, an act amending Title 27 Virgin Islands Code relating to various provisions of the Trade and Craft Code proposed by Senator Samuel Sanes. Invited testifiers included DLCA's Devin Carrington, along with some business owners. They also discussed Bill number 31-0155, an act amending Virgin Islands Code by adding a new paragraph relating to the duties of the Office of Veterans Affairs in connection with inscribing names on memorials proposed by Senator Justin Harrigan Sr. Many involved in the medical, dental, chiropractic, pharmacy, podiatry, and more were in attendance during a training meeting held. The regulatory board training for Department of Health's umbrella boards and other intra-agencies was underway today at the Wyndham Sugar Bay Resort. Dale Atkinson of FARB, which stands for Federation of Associations of Regulatory Boards, conducted a comprehensive regulatory training addressing key issues affecting healthcare regulation today. FARB is a not-for-profit association whose full members consist of several associations of regulatory boards that facilitates cross-professional interaction and provides educational programs for board members, staff, investigators, attorneys, and other stakeholders related to the regulation in the interest of public protection. Criminal Investigation Bureau detectives are investigating a robbery that they say occurred on Thursday around 5:50 p.m. The 911 emergency call center dispatched officers to Quality Foods located in Estate Castle Coakley. According to the preliminary report, a male entered the establishment armed with a gun and demanded the money from the cash register. The suspect took an unknown amount of cash from the business along with cash from the wallet of the cashier and fled the area on foot. Suspect was described as the male wearing a blue coverall and a ski mask covering his entire face. The race of the suspect was unknown due to his body having been fully covered. A VIPD delegation is attending the International Association of Chief of Police annual conference, and we will have highlights of that on Friday's newscast. Be sure to tune in. In other news, Coast Guardsmen offloaded approximately 1,340 kilograms of cocaine this week, seized during two separate drug smuggling attempts in the Caribbean Sea, worth an estimated wholesale value of $44.2 million at Coast Guard base in San Juan, Puerto Rico. The seizures were the result of Operation Unified Resolve and Caribbean Guard. In one case, a GoFast vessel was detained on October 19th with 3 people approximately 45 nautical miles southeast of Haiti. Coast Guard recovered 57 bales that weighed approximately 1,140 kilograms and tested positive for cocaine. In a second case, 3 men aboard a GoFast vessel made landfall in Isla Senoa with approximately 200 kilograms that tested positive for cocaine. Turn attention overseas. A plane catches fire with about 100 people on board. The engine fire happened this afternoon in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. More than a dozen passengers, including 1 child, are being treated for injuries. And we have more. Mary Maloney has the latest.
Terrifying moments on a tarmac. Fire erupts on a passenger plane with about 100 people on board.
The pilot declared the emergency. His left engine was on fire. The plane was loaded with passengers.
Smoke fills the sky.
What you're looking at is an extremely serious fuel-fed fire.
It happened just before Dynamic Airways Flight 405 was scheduled to take off for Venezuela. As the plane taxied to the runway, a pilot on another plane saw fuel leaking from the jet.
It's not unusual where it is another aircraft, a following aircraft, that will see the leak, will see the fire, will alert the aircraft, the one on fire, and the tower that there is an emergency.
The doors opened and slides deployed, getting the passengers and crew off the plane.
Everything worked as it's supposed to work.
The goal is you've got to get everybody off the plane within 90 seconds. That's what the regulations require. 90 seconds with half the doors being unusable.
Crews put out the flames, covering the red and white plane with retardant. The fire didn't claim any lives, but it is raising questions as investigators begin to determine what went wrong. I'm Mary Maloney reporting.
And keeping our eye on the economy, here's a look at the New York Stock Exchange with our Stock Market Watch. Taking a look at those numbers there, we can see the Dow down 23, NASDAQ down 21, S&P 500 also down. Coming up on NEWS2, Breast Cancer Awareness Month recognition continues. We have some information for you, as well as Department of Human Services many officials gathered to talk about early child education. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Innovative announces that effective Saturday, November 14th, mark this on your calendar, Innovative Business Office will no longer accept and process payments at the cashier's window. There are a number of other payment options available. Pay by phone. Customers should have their 13-digit statement, number, and credit card or debit card with logo to make a payment. And the number to call is 774-2PAY. You can also pay online. Visit www.innovative.vi and click Pay My Bill. You may also take advantage of other added benefits. You can also pay at the banks at any Banco Popular, First Bank, or Scotiabank branch. And please aim to pay the bill 3 days prior to the due date listed on the late notice, or of course you can pay by mail. Well, speaking of which, innovative companies will be going pink on Friday, October 30th in recognition of breast cancer awareness. However, throughout the month, you may have noticed the colors displayed around the lobby. They want to remind women that breast cancer is very treatable if detected early. Localized tumors can usually be treated successfully before the cancer spreads, and in 9 out of 10 cases, the woman will live at least another 5 years. However, late recurrences of breast cancer are common. Once the cancer begins to spread, treatment becomes difficult. So early detection is key. Although significantly less prevalent in men, breast cancer in men is not unheard of. Breast cancer is about 100 times less common among men than among women. For men, the lifetime risk of getting breast cancer is about 1 in 1,000. The number of breast cancer cases in men relative to the population has been fairly stable over the last 30 years.
In terms of cases of male breast cancer, I can think off the top of my head probably of 2 patients so far, since I've been practicing here for the last 10 years. Men are more likely to be aware of their breast cancer because they have small breasts, so they notice any changes, any lumps, any abnormalities. It is usually quite treatable. We remove the breast, we do a mastectomy, and the man usually can take a pill for 5 years because most male breast cancers are what we call estrogen receptor positive and progesterone receptor positive. That means the cancer cells can be fed by these hormones. So we prescribe this pill for 5 years.
Department of Human Services, Office of Preschool Services, Head Start Program, and the Office of Child Care and Regulatory Services welcomed Region 2 Head Start Association to a conference that wrapped up today. This development and training conference brought many professionals together for a meeting of the minds. Commissioner Vivian Ebbison Flood of the Department of Human Services welcomed from the states and territories all participants, presenters, and support staff of Region 2 Head Start Association to the Virgin Islands for its annual Professional Development and Training Conference.
It is great to have you here. It is great to see each and every one of you as our partners in the awesome job we have of molding minds and creating great leaders.
The three-day event included a welcome ceremony, keynote speakers, educational sessions, workshops, exhibits, and more.
The Department of Human Services is vast and wide and has a lot of responsibilities, and Head Start just being one of them. But here in the territory, I have the opportunity to lead a department that has 84 programs operating 12 divisions on a daily basis territorially. And so when we recently opened and had the opportunity to open our 10-classroom consolidated Head Start Center and had the opportunity to really realize in the Virgin Islands what we had put together, thanks to the help of our regional partners, that we have 200 children in one place. We've just created a school.
Governor Kenneth Mapp, who was unable to attend, released a statement in which he welcomed participants.
Virgin Islanders are committed, just as our associates throughout the region and nation are committed, to supporting and expanding early childhood education programs such as Head Start. We know that Head Start has proven its value over the past 50 years by charting the creativity and greater ability to grasp intellectual and other concepts.
But each of us that's in this room share a like vision. We have a like focus. We have a like mission. And that mission is to educate, to mold, to craft, to grow, to educate the newest leaders in our community.
And the theme this year was 50 Years of Excellence, Our Commitment Continues. In attendance were many Region 2 Head Start Association reps from Puerto Rico, New Jersey, and New York. The conference wrapped up earlier today with a closing ceremony. Well, with the theme, Girls of Hope, Unique Expression Organization announces its inaugural conference. We mentioned this earlier. Presenters will address topics like Escape the Trauma, You Are a Person, Not a Punching Bag. It will be held on Saturday, October 31st from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. The numbers to call to register is 340-514-6118 or 340-690-0303.
As you're aware, October is National Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and our conference is about bringing healing, spiritual healing, to women, men, boys, girls who may have been psychologically, sexually, physically, mentally, or emotionally abused.
It is for the whole family. Anyone can come and participate. The information is there to receive. A table has been prepared. The speakers are exceptional, and they are going to bring home a message that will really lift our spirit and empower us to go forward. What the conference is intended to do is just begin to bring closure to the past so that you can go forward for the future.
The Virgin Islands will be represented on an international stage again, this time by 2015 Miss USVI Paradise World winner Janae Masak. Janae, whose platform is focused on the Humane Society, will be leaving this November for the Miss World pageant in China, and she needs the community's help to get there. The pageant comes under the umbrella of Cindy's Models in the Aisle. You can email cindysmodels@yahoo.com for more information on how to help this young lady.
For the preliminaries, we're going to be doing a lot of different events and categories towards the day of the pageant, which is December 19th, and it will be aired on ETV at 8 a.m. on December 19th. My hopes for this pageant is to meet all the contestants and meet the different girls from around the world and get to learn about their culture and also share our culture that we have here in the Virgin Islands.
And we will hear more from Janae as she prepares for that trip. Be sure to stick around. Your News2 AccuWeather forecast comes your way next.